to honor the life of Mr. Orange. I can tell that he was a popular guy. So let's begin with our call to service, lighting the flames of faith. And I'll have Reverend Nancy, one of our assistant ministers here, to do the candle lighting. We perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all people and all faiths, all sentient beings, come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. As Reverend Nancy lights the first candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way, we light the second candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practice of all indigenous people, the way of primal spirituality. We light the third candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the sixth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the ninth candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. We light the 10th candle for those who are as yet unaware of spirit in their lives, and for the space we are holding for them here at the center. As Reverend Nancy lights a healing candle, please put silent into the light the names of anyone you wish to have experience the healing flame of God's eternal love, including Mr. Orange and including any kitties, dogs, domestic animals that need that love and spirit in their lives. So, good morning. And so I'll just start with a little opening prayer as we recognize this power, this presence, this life, which is the life of God, and that God is that love, that abounding love, and we are all one with that abounding love as we know that Mr. Orange, that he is just released to the Rainbow Bridge with absolute divine love. There is love in every aspect of every animal's life. And so as we know right now that we are so grateful for the joy and companionship and inspiration that Mr. Orange gave us. So right now, we are so grateful and blessed as we release these words to the law. It is done, it is so, and so it is. So I would just like to say that we're gathered here as we pay tribute to this wonderful cat. He was from the Trap Neuter Release Program. There were some stray kittens that were born. I don't remember the kittens. I remember there were several kittens around, but Mr. Orange was the one that stood out, and he just had this friendly personality. And I remember he would roll around and just, it was like he expected and knew he was worthy. It wasn't like he was here having to say affirmations about I'm worthy of love, I'm worthy of prosperity. He had that. He just knew that instinctively. He didn't have anybody to show him. He'd look at me like, here I am. Aren't I beautiful? And I'm just open to receive your love. And he was fed. I mean, talk about prosperity. He had various, he didn't need money but he needed food, and he just demonstrated that through various channels. I found out over a year ago when I set up a GoFundMe account, and I put signs around here, and I didn't realize there were several neighbors feeding him, and I think that's why he was pudgy. He was nice and plump. And then it was last June, Irene, who noticed that he was injured. So we took him to the vet, and they treated his injuries, and they did blood work. And because he was diagnosed with FIV, he really it wasn't good for him to be outside. And so Irene generously offered her home where he was pampered, and Irene was telling me, he had a good life. I mean, he had a life well lived. Isn't that something all of us can learn from him? Live your life, have a life well lived. So with this, what I'm going to do is invite the congregation to come and share. And then after everybody shares in person, for the people online, then they can share. And then too, after that, if anybody wants to get up and say anything to pay tribute to one of their beloved animals that have passed away, they're welcome to do that too. So I'm going to first invite Irene to come up and share. And what we do after each of you share, just get up, light one of these little candles, and then just ring the bell. I'm going to do that in his memory.
Did you want to do the video first?
Yes, thank you for reminding. Yeah, we're going to have a video, and then Irene will get up to speak. Thank you. Thank you very much. And so now I would like to invite Irene first, and then please come up, share how he inspired you, how he made a difference in your life, what you liked about him, any funny stories, and I'll start with Irene. And you can come up here, yeah.
A yellow tabby cat was born in Old Granada Hills Village on or near May 20th, 2007, and died on March 21st, 2023, for a life of 15 years and 10 months. He lived as an outdoor cat behind this church, the pool supply store, and the insurance agency. He also took shelter around some townhouses where there are covered porches, grass, landscaping, and shade trees. Best of all, he had a team of humans who loved him, and these admirers bestowed on him many names. From the gentleman who first found him as a tiny kitten, Morris, to the church congregation, Mr. Orange. To the owners of the insurance agency, he was Mr. Whiskers. A young couple, residents of the townhouse, called him Cinnamon. Then there was Buttercup, provenance not known. At her birthday party here in July 2016, Bev Sperling leaned back in her chair and announced, "I've decided his name is Tommy." He came in to join us, and he worked the room. In the fall of that year, I got into a habit of coming over to check on the cat twice a week. Early evenings, he usually came to meet me. I enjoyed working on the feeding station and the water, also the small food station across the alley. I liked meeting a few of the folks out there, Chip, who rides the orange motorcycle, Susie and her children, the boss at the insurance office who told me that Mr. Orange appeared on the back step every morning and they gave him water from their cooler. The church and the team of friends took such good care of our boy. Mr. Orange continued to be strong for a long time, and he was friendly and smart. Then in late May of last year, he got thinner, walking closer to the ground and slower. I felt around for an abdominal mass, and there was none. I did find a very small lump on his back, right over his spine. It did not seem to be attached to the bone, but maybe he was due for medical attention. I heard of the animal ministry here when someone mentioned it to me in the parking lot. I got a hold of the animal ministry brochure and read about Reverend Kathy and her mission statement. We had a telephone talk about Mr. Orange, and we set up an intervention. It was Saturday, June 4th of last year when we met in the parking lot and we muscled through our plan. VCA Veterinary Specialists of the Valley is in Woodland Hills. They are an urgent care hospital. There were intake exam, blood work, medicines, and e-collar. Lastly, he had a SNAP test for feline AIDS and leukemia. Leukemia positive. We agreed that I would take him home to Newhall for 2 weeks while Kathy would work on the internet for ideas to rehome him, treatment, if any, and so forth. He was fine in the house. He didn't try to get out. I said he was smart. He learned the sandbox in one day even though he had lived outside his whole life. He ate and slept well. I reported back to Kathy and I asked her if it would be okay for me to be a failed foster. She said yes. So officially, I became his adoptive mom, the failed foster, on June 18, 2022. Just some highlights from his medical history. At a cats-only practice where I have been their client for 42 years. June 2022. Examination, repeat SNAP test, positive for leukemia. Complete blood count, fluid analysis, and the following therapies, which were repeated every visit. Injectable antibiotic, multivitamin, B12, iron, and sub-Q fluids. Doctor's comments, mildly dehydrated. White count is a little low. Red count slightly low. Temperature 104 degrees. Normal is 101.6 degrees. September, partial hospitalization, anesthesia, antibiotic, clean and polished teeth, subgingival cleaning and no extractions, and he came through like a champ. Doctor's comments, blood pressure is good. Blood chemistry panel is good. Very nice cat. October, treatments as before. Mildly anemic. Weight was 12 pounds, 13 ounces. Continued to give blood-building tonic twice a day, as prescribed in June on the first visit. November, white cells holding at 28. That's below normal of 32 to 34. I had a fall in December and no checkup for Kitty that month. End of January 2023. Blood chemistry panel is good. White cells 30, but he is anemic again. I start him on KMR, canned milk, and he loves it. That's a kitten milk replacement. Good stuff. The little tumor on his back did not change, thank goodness. March 14th, the mad dash. Mr. Orange was losing ground, and I took him to an animal care center in Newhall. Exam, antibiotic injection, pills to bring home, fever 105 degrees, big rainstorm. Somehow, this bought him one very good day plus 2 quite decent days. March 18th, he went back to the hospital in Pasadena to stay the weekend. He ate on his own Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Tube feeding was not necessary. On Monday late afternoon, I got the doctor's report. Fever 105.5 degrees, severely anemic. White cells are very low. Red cells terribly low. Tuesday, March 21st at the cat hospital, Mr. Orange did not try to eat that day. He was getting away with the dispensation from all of the complications that leukemia can bring. His blood had just quit on him. I don't think he was in pain, but he was just so tired. And so I said, okay. On veterinary forms for the clients, there is that box, owner present. I was present. Failed foster owner was present. Foster mother present. We had 9 months and 17 days. Thank you. you.
Thank you, Irene.
Hi, I'd like to share something. I lost my Jackson last May, and a congregant by the name of Emily told me of a Tibetan observance where you get a stuffy that looks like your pet, and they have a landing pad that their little soul can come into, and you can feel their presence. And I now have 3 of them on my bar top in my home, and my dad is a cutout in my home. And I had wanted to order a Mr. Orange on Amazon, but my account got frozen the other day for fraud. And so I thought, oh, but I remembered up in my attic, my daughter is 28, and she used to collect when she was a toddler little Thai kitty cats. And I climbed up there this morning because I just knew that there was going to be an orange one. And there was. And so I'm feeling Mr. Orange's spirit in the Tibetan observance and knowing that he's always in my heart and what joy he brought me and to so many who walked through the door. And I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you, Reverend Kathy. Thank you, Irene, for honoring all of us, honoring his life. And I've never seen the Rainbow Bridge. Wow. Magnificent. Bless your heart. Bless your life.
No, you don't have to. You can either just hold it in your memory that you're welcome to get up. Nancy, yes.
Hi. I'm sitting here thinking, even the name brings, Mr. Orange brings a smile to my face. I never was a cat person. I always liked dogs. Then Mr. Orange came along. Some reason, he adopted me. Every time I drive in the parking lot, my car hit that parking lot, here he was. I opened the door and he would do that flip thing where he lay on the ground just to make sure that I touched his belly. When I would teach class, and he would go in the church, that was when he could come in. He wasn't supposed to come in, but when I was here, he came in anyway. So the whole time I was doing class, he would either lay under the table, and most of the time he'd just lay on my foot for the class. But he had his routine. He would come in with me. He would go in every room, all the way through all the building, and in the back too. And then he would come back out there and go under the table and lay on my feet for the rest of the class. It was like he checked out the place for me. So I don't know, and it seems like I became more and more attached to him. And if I came to the church and he didn't come to the car, it was like I would walk up and down the alley trying to figure out where he was. But he would always come. And I got to meet a lot of his caretakers, like in the alley, because we would talk about him, because he would, even if he was across the street, he would just run over and greet me when I came to the church. He was, he knew he was loved. I mean, he was really a major symbol of love. It was, because, he brought a smile to my face. And I even felt like I identified coming to the church. Part of my experience was being with him and greeting him. And when I got ready to leave, a lot of times I found him on my hood of my car. And he would know when to get up there because he kind of knew what time I would leave. It was amazing what he knew and how he knew. And I want to thank you for giving him that last, him taking care, making him safe. Yeah, he was strong and such a beautiful symbol of love for so many people. Yeah, and you're right, Kathy. He knew. He knew love, and he gave love. Thank you.
Okay, I'll keep my composure. I'll tell a funny story about Mr. Orange. My son named him South. Why, I don't know. But he was such a beautiful, beautiful soul. He was extremely smart. Oh, my goodness. He used to share his food with the other cats. We'd see them at night, and they'd come, and he'd sit there, and he'd let them eat out of his bowl. And a funny story. One evening, this guy shows up in the parking lot, okay? Gets out of his truck and goes, "Oh, that's my friend's cat," you know? And South just sitting there like, you know, and he reached out to touch him, and then he kind of let him pet him for just a second, but then like, he said, "I'm going to call my friend, and I'm going to show him that I found his cat." And he showed us a picture on his phone, and I'm like, that is not his cat. No. And Reverend Mike, I think he was in here. He's like, "Well, I don't know. It could be," kind of thing. I'm like, no. So I called Nancy on the phone. I said, "Nancy, there's somebody here trying to take our cat, you know, and I don't believe that's their cat." She goes, "Oh no, baby. No, that's not their cat. He been here since before 2012. He came from a litter. And he the only one that got away. Oh, no, baby, that's not their cat." And I said, "Ugh." So I came back in. Me and my son were back in the back room looking out the window, watching everything. And I said, "Come here, Andreas, and say this with me." And we looked at him out through the window with the guy. He called his friend. They thinking they're going to, take him away. And I said, "Run, South, run, run." And as if he could hear me, he took off running across the parking lot over them apartments back there. I said, "Oh, yeah." And he came back only after those two guys left. And I said, "Yeah, that's not their cat. That's our cat." You know? And one other incident, it's like I never, in the whole time being here, ever heard him meow. He was always so happy and content. I never heard him meow. Well, one Sunday when the service was going on, I stepped into the back room, and my son was back there singing and writing on the board, and I heard this meow, meow, meow. He's at the door. I said, "Andreas, you either better open the door and let him in or go out there because I think he's calling you." And that was the first time I'd ever heard him meow. Beautiful, beautiful creature. And I'm honored to have had him around. And the video you'll see later on, we let him in. I mean, I know it's like, oh, he ain't supposed to be in here, but we let him in. And I had a product, Rasta Kitty Catnip Toys I used to sell on my shop. And I needed a feline to test it on before I put it up. I said, "Well, let him in." And he played, and he rolled, and he, like a little bitty baby. I'm like, whoa. And so you'll see that video later. who would have known? Who would have known? And I made a video I guess, for now. Well, thank you, Irene. Oh, God bless you so much for taking care of our friend. So much. Because we loved him so much. And when COVID hit and everybody kind of dispersed, I always thought, I hope somebody's there to feed him every day and take care of him and keep him company, because there was nobody here most of the time, And so I was like, and to find out that he was so well taken care of. Thank you. God bless you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Mike. Most of you know me here. I think calling Mr. Orange a stray cat is kind of a disservice. He wasn't. I wouldn't say he was a stray, and he wasn't homeless. He was a cat of many homes. Yeah, and I was just so surprised. Anytime I drove up here into the back parking lot, or anyone else here, any of the other regulars, he would come out of wherever he was, sometimes across the alley here, sometimes down the alley. You never knew where he was at. And like talking to Kathy, we were sure he was getting fed and pampered by many other people. So he was well loved. And same thing that Reverend Nancy was saying, and most of the time when I came here, if I opened up my car door, then he, sometimes he'd try to jump in, or he'd put on a show right there, rolling on his back and just wanting you to hold him. And yeah, and I was amazed how tame he was, because, for someone you would think was stray, he'd let you hold him and everything, and he was well fed here too. So and thank you, Irene, for taking care of him in his final days, final months. Yeah.
So, hi, I'm Beverly. And thank you so much, Irene. And thank the whole community. I mean, I called him Tommy, because he's a tomcat. And seeing Tommy in the back, and I thought, oh my goodness, this cat who's living in the back of the church. And, poor thing, what if, there's so many cars coming through here, and for him to survive and to live so abundantly for that long, for over 15 years and 10 months and days, for him to live that long, what a blessing. It's like, wow, here we say that the God shows up within us and around us and, all through life. And what a demonstration Tommy had for our community, that he not only lived, but he thrived, and he was an expression of love. And I love that you have the animal ministry here, Reverend Kathy, and, because we do love our animals so much. And when I lost my kitty, I got to come here and celebrate his life. And, I'm grateful that we had Tommy here. It's like, oh, can we have another one? Little stray somewhere. So I just wanted to say I'm grateful. And that we had this little guy back here, little Tommy, to love and you know, everyone wanted to feed him and make sure he had food, make sure he had water, and I'm so happy to hear that the community also took care of him, because he was a precious guy. And thank you, Jonna, for bringing the little kitty cat so that we can, you know, have that little memory. And we will keep that memory for him. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Esther. Hello. My friend Irene, I've known her for many, many, many years, and she never ceases to amaze me with her commitments, responsibilities, how she takes care of so many things. And I am amazed right now at let me tell you a story. We came here one night. Beverly had one of her teachers, alma mater, and we had a big celebration here. And Irene, who was not a member, but to humor me, came along with me and Beverly and my mom to honor alma mater. And it was that night that Irene met Tommy and paid attention. And so, unbeknownst to me, she started driving out here to take care of this cat from Newhall. She drove from Newhall twice a week, sometimes 3 times, and she bought the cat food, brought him water, cleaned out his dishes, took care of her like this was her own cat. And I was amazed. I mean, the things that she was doing for this cat, coming from Newhall and doing all these things, are amazing. And so she continued to do it for, what, 1.5 years, I think? How long? 6 years. Oh, excuse me, 6 years. She did it for 6 years. A commitment like that is absolutely astounding. Okay, for somebody to take care of an animal that doesn't belong to them. And not only did she come and feed him, but when she noticed that he was injured, she somehow brought him to the doctor. And as you see, she kept impeccable records on his well-being, his medical needs. She paid for that on her own, took him to the doctors, drove to Pasadena, was it? Her doctor is in Pasadena, and she drove from Newhall to Pasadena to care for the cat while he was ill. And so that's when I heard about Kathy. I didn't know Kathy before today, but found out her participation initially in financial responsibility for the cat is what catapulted this whole thing. And I thank you so much for that. I think that there are angels appear everywhere, and Tommy had not only this congregation, but he had a Maha angel, Irene, who absolutely did unbelievable things and love and cherish, took care of him like a baby, like her child. And so I want to honor Irene for what she has done financially, spiritually, in every way for this being who everybody loved so much. So I'd like to thank Irene And Kathy, thank you so much, Kathy.
The very principles that he lived, the very principles that we teach, and there were many beautiful spiritual lessons to learn from observing his life. He would sleep on top of my car, as he did many people's. When I'd be here on a Sunday morning, especially if it was cold out, because the hood is warm. And for a cat who was, didn't have one home, but many, he didn't have a feral nature at all. He had a very open and loving nature. He would come to you and he would demonstrate his love. He was a real demonstrator. And I've been missing him already for 3 years because I moved away. But he'll live in my heart forever. And thank you so much, Irene. I don't know you at all, but what an angel you were in his life. Thank you, everybody.
Hey guys, it's Chloe. I'm from Wisconsin. I'm just visiting family. This cat always reminds me of my other cats. I can definitely relate. And thanks to Kathy Lyons for being there for my other cat. I appreciate you for doing this service. I could definitely relate to this one. I have 3 cats. One of them who is not here, he was Timmy. It was by boy, hit by a car. And my mom says, come over here, Chloe. So I saw her we had a load of a big basket. And then, I saw her right there. That was a big moment for me. And the other one was Timmy. It was near our door side. And that was hard to see her gone. And the good side that we put a tree in front of our house. And we did. So that was nice. And then my other one, Shaggy. Okay. So that was the best moment. And it was the best moments was being there and seeing that cat outside was the best moments. And I will just if you want to come back to me, I'll appreciate it if anybody wants to share. So so I would just finish my thought that I after my 3 cats not here, one of them was I think it was in my closet. I think her was coming out. And I saw her and I looked at her and says, Shaggy, what happened to? And that moment, I saw her, it was in my mom's closet. And that was hard. And now we have down to 1 cat. And I appreciate that Kathy was right there next to me and my mom and my dad was being there for me too. I appreciated that Kathy saved our day by praying for our cat who was not here. And I appreciate you guys for being there. And I couldn't done it without you guys not being there. And following turn at the church always means a lot to me. And I appreciate you guys for being there and supporting me. And yeah, I'll just share my time and I love you all. And if anybody others wants to share, I could definitely relate to everybody else and good to see everybody on there. If Shauna out there, my heart goes out to you. My dad is doing well. And everybody out there, safe and sound, stay cool, and drink enough water if you're out there. So yeah, I hope I will see you guys back in soon. I'll be back on Friday, but I definitely miss you all. I miss the love not being there. Thanks, Mike, Carlin, for doing the techno stuff. And yeah, I love y'all, and hopefully this orange cat always will have a safe journey passing away.
Hi, this is Mary Jane. Cheryl, do you want to go?
No, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I came in late. I'm sorry, I was on another meeting. I couldn't get away. So I understand this is recorded. Is that right? I would love to see the whole thing. Oh, great. I just a couple words. I mean, I didn't have as close relationship to the cat as all of you that I've heard so far, but I sure love seeing that cat there. And anytime I came in that back door and there wasn't any food, I immediately went to the cupboard. I got the food or whatever was needed and made sure the water was there. And I always got so nervous because the cat sometimes was in the alleyway, and I thought, oh God, please don't get hit by a car, you know. But I can't believe how long that cat lasted, being such a roaming cat in the neighborhood. And but love all of your taking care of the cat, and the giving nature of everybody to that cat. He was really, really blessed, and bless you all for doing that. I love the stories, and I'll miss him too a lot. So it's good to see everybody and hear your stories. And I'm looking forward to watching the recording so I could see it from the beginning. Thank you for doing this, Reverend Kathy. You're terrific. And Irene, I didn't hear everything, but it sounds like you were just amazing also. So, Angela, it's great to see you. Thank you.
Hi. In all honesty, we've never had cats because I'm allergic to their fur. We've always had birds, dogs, rodents of various kind, you know, mice, hamsters, you name it. I loved the Rainbow Bridge. I'd never seen that video before. And when it says your pets are all waiting for you, I thought, well, it's a good thing to have unlimited space because we've got a lot of them waiting over the years. And I just love that. Okay, I'm sorry. Our church is doing this for an animal because I don't know how many would bother. And we all know that to have pets, how important they are in our lives. And I know Mr. Orange always greeted me when I pulled in the driveway back by the kitchen door. And he'd always walk me to my car when I left. And like I say, I never petted him because of my allergies or helped that much in any way. But I really bless all the people that did, especially Irene, you know. But I really, my love and respect for this community has grown even more because of this. And you can see I'm a softie. Thank you, all of you who helped Mr. Orange. And I certainly enjoyed him, even though I'm obviously not a cat person. Plus, adding a cat to the dogs and the rodents and the birds and fish. We have always had fish. I thought was just a little bit too much to tip the scales for my sanity. But aside from that, I'm just so grateful for everyone today. And I bless you all. And Mr. Orange blessed us all too. So thank you.
Okay, who's next?
Has everyone had a chance to go? a couple of observances. Irene, I am touched to the core. Your testimonial of what some of us may do and to what extent we're willing to go for another being other than a human being, including human beings. And as he was called, Mr. Orange, and by many other names, which is a feline thing. They allow whomever it is that they come in contact with to discover their identity and name for that person. So this is something very common that you will find. They have many names. They name themselves again and again. He is an ambassador for the feline people, if you will, of the four-leggeds. And an ever-present reminder that we cannot ever underestimate the impact of a life form who, in pure evidence and fact, touched so many right there, that not only his many names, but also his many places of refuge. I'm just so touched, Kathy. I almost cried during the Rainbow Bridge. It really got to me. We are connected. I certainly believe, no matter how scientific I am, that all of life is connected. We are all connected. And that's all I have to say. Back to you, Kathy.
We're now going to have Mike, I'll have you do our videos. And thank you all for sharing, everybody. And I want to again acknowledge Irene, and then Mike and Evan too in the back. They've done a lot to contribute. So thank you, in case I forget at the end of the service. So go ahead, take it away, Mike.
Guess nothing could ever prepare me for this day. I guess nothing could ever prepare me for this pain. How do I say goodbye to one who has taught me to love? One who has taught me what life and living's about. Though my heart is in pieces as days with you come to an end, I'd still say that if I had to live my life over again, I'd have you here with me, and each memory of you that I hold is where you live forever on as I let you go. 'cause that rainbow bridge is in sight now. So I send you on your way to that place where only happiness awaits. So go, go run free to where the grass is always green, beyond the rainbow bridge where skies are blue. Go, go run free, beyond time and space, together we'll be beyond the rainbow bridge. I'll be with you, I will be with you. I will always find comfort in knowing I gave you a home, and you've given me sunshine and happiness I'd never known. And I know you are weary, it's time now to rest. Time now to go where you'll be restored to your very best. So make your way to the sunset and fly to the rainbow's end. One fine day, I know I'll see you again. So go, go run free to where the grass is always green, beyond the rainbow bridge where skies are blue. Go, go run free, beyond time and space, together we'll be beyond the rainbow bridge. I'll be with you, I will be with you. Go run free to where the grass is always green, beyond the rainbow bridge where skies are blue. Go, go run free, beyond time and space, together we'll be beyond the rainbow bridge. I'll be with you, I will be with you. Go run free, 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 I will be with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mike, for showing that, and Evan back there. And I also want to thank Mike for, he coordinated, I sent him the videos and Terry sent him the videos, but he coordinated this, so he needs to be acknowledged. And also, since this is the end of the service, and so we all here to remember Mr. Orange, but I also want to say, if any of you have had a beloved animal companion who's gone to the Rainbow Bridge, this will be your opportunity to close your eyes and put their name in the light. And I'm going to include my cat Andy, and then Reverend Jessica's dog Bernadette that recently went to the Rainbow Bridge. So just take a breath and put in the light any beloved companion you want to remember, including Mr. Orange. Just knowing that when Mr. Orange there, was everybody's friend, so he's probably there, you know, just showing his love. And I'll light a candle and ring the last bell. And so I'll just now close. So how grateful we are right now, how grateful I am to be here commemorating Mr. Orange for all the wonderful joy and love that he brought. And it's all that thing of giving and receiving. We were generously giving, but he was open to receiving. So it's a lesson for all of us to learn. That law of giving and receiving, that the love that we extend comes back, and it came back to Mr. Orange. And so right now, as we just join together remembering that beautiful presence, that beautiful love and light of God, and so right here and right now that we just give thanks for this beautiful day to gather together and to commemorate him and to console each other. So with grateful thanks as we release these words to the law of mind, we know it is done, we know it is so, and together we say, and so it is. Okay, so let's just give Mr. Orange a standing ovation. Yay!